are set to do battle. In charge, James Owens, the first Wexford man to handle an hurling final since 1998, and it gets underway. And straight away it's Kilkenny who tried to make the first breakthrough here. Conor Fogarty laying it off inside here, picked up well by Colin Fennelly, and that ball has gone away to the left-hand side.
Yeah, Gerard, as expected, Dahi Burke on in centre back to Mark Richie Hogan, Iarla Tanyan here out in the right wing on TJ Reid. And I see Jason Flynn here out at right half forward. We're expecting that. Conor Whelan inside in the corner. So Walter Walsh gone in corner forward on Johnny Cohen, and Pádraig Mannion over picking up Owen Larkin.
A lot of switches. Dahi Burke incidentally did mark Richie Hogan for the first half of the Leinster final, limited him to 1 point, and then Richie was moved by Kilkenny. Be interested to see just what happens as this develops. Killian Buckley, the ball in his hands. Down went Cyril Donnellan, and the referee calling across. I'm just having a very quiet word with Killian Buckley. Ends up being a free in anyway. The first chance of a score here for Galway, and Joe Canning is the one who's come out to take it. This is about 46 metres out on a very, very still, calm afternoon here. Perfect afternoon for hurling. And now Galway look to make the perfect start. Giving himself every opportunity, Joe Canning. And they're away to a flyer. First score of the match.
Yeah, I'd be happy with, not that hard a free to start with, and that leaves the nerves. I think if Galway were to win, that man's going to have a huge game. You see the hand bandage, 28 stitches in that earlier in the summer, and it's held him back a bit, but he's key man today for Galway.
Well, they have an option, of course, at Jason Flynn, who could possibly take frees as well, as Owen Murphy takes this puck out, aimed down towards Richie Hogan. So good in the air, his leg very heavily strapped, hasn't done any training at all with hurling, that is, over the last week or so. Getting caught there was Kieran Joyce. Ball flashes back out here as far as TJ Reid, sniffing it across calmly into the middle to Michael Fennelly, having a go from there, putting it over beautifully. Teams level. First for Michael Fennelly.
Yeah, Joe, great score there. Galway did very well, some great hitting there. Kieran Joyce put back by Jonathan Glynn, but kept the composure. TJ Reid, lovely little pass out to Michael Fennelly, and he couldn't believe the time he had straight over the bar.
Galway's puck out taken by Colm Callanan up there towards wing forward. Over there is Jonathan Glynn, the big strong man who had such a good game in the quarter-final. Picked up well, however, and taken out of danger by Pádraig Welch. Again, Ger Aylward coming forward, trying to get possession. Back as far as Welch once more. Diagonally across here to TJ Reid, who's moved inside. In goes Iarla Tanyan as well to pick him up. Runs on, Ger Aylward trying to get to it. Here's an opportunity. Walter Welch brilliantly defended. Superb piece of covering that time. It was Johnny Cohen. And Galway survived this particular onslaught. Back out as far as Ger Aylward it comes. Tricky angle, and he makes light of that and puts it over the bar. Great score. A point to settle Ger Aylward down in his first All-Ireland senior final.
Yeah, lovely score from a tight angle. Michael Fennelly involved again. He started very brightly for Kilkenny. Great block there, as you say. Here's Walter Walsh coming in, blocked down there by Johnny Cohen, and very, very important interception.
Cohen getting the stick to it. Timing was so perfect that time. Straight through the centre towards Cyril Donnellan. Can't get to it. Instead, it's picked up by Conor Fogarty once again. Hand pass intended for Richie Hogan. So many Galway bodies converging on it. So important that Galway get up to the tempo quickly and bring that same level of intensity that they had here a few weeks ago against Tipperary. Andy Smith. The rival captain into space here. Opportunity for Joe Canning to come across. Get the ball under control here, take on Joey Holden, have a go and put it over. Teams level. Joe Canning second, first to come from open play. 4 minutes are gone.
Yeah, Jared, that score made by some brilliant tackling out the field by Galway. Lovely ball by Andy Smith, and Joe showing Joey Holden a clean pair of heels there and over the bar. And Galway's tackling so far very, very good. Their intensity is right up there.
Owen Murphy just taking his time before delivering this one into the half forwards. Owen Larkin available but couldn't get to it. Instead it's Pádraig Mannion, anxious to make a really good start here. Andy Smith half blocked down. Shane Prendergast able to come across and take it. Beats off the challenge of Conor Whelan. And out over the sideline, that one's gone, so it's going to be a line ball to Galway. Richie Hogan here was mentioning the fact that he has been in difficulty with injury. He's got a bad back as well, and having major problems trying to prepare himself adequately for the real challenge of an All-Ireland final. Not ideal.
No, Jerry, his quad as well, heavily strapped, and I believe he hasn't trained in the last couple of weeks, so not the ideal preparation.
David Burke here. Comes back once again to Jonathan Glynn, and Johnny takes off, slips it outside to his left-hand side. Aidan Hart, seen as an attacking force, but this one has gone to the left. A really good chance, one they should have availed of.
Yeah, poor wide, but I think Aidan Hart, since he switched back from midfield to wing back, it's been huge in the development of this Galway team since the Cork game, and normally he'd tap that over.
Once again, just watching TJ Reid here at left half forward as that ball comes towards him here. His marker this afternoon is Pádraig Mannion, away out from full back the last day, even from cornerback as he was programmed. Here he is once again under pressure, this time for John Aylward, and the referee saw a foul committed, so it's going to be a free out for Galway. Little chop down there on the Galway defender. So a free from about 45 metres out from the Galway goal. Well, he'll be anxious to get rid of something of a nightmare he had here a couple of weeks ago against Seamus Calden, of course, playing full back on that occasion. Conceded 3 goals to Calden, who had a height advantage, a skill, and, well, I'm not sure what we could say a skill advantage, but certainly as terms of forwards, he was really at his very, very best that afternoon. And that one has gone out off a Kilkenny stick, and it's gone for a 65, the umpire has decided, and then he's been overruled. The referee has said ball touched one of the forwards last.
Yeah, interesting to see Jason Flynn going back there to his own 65 to take that free. It's a long, long way out, and just watching TJ Reid trying to bring Earl Italian across the field. He's after running 60-70 yards there off the ball.
This next puck out here, down into the half forwards once again, right hand taking it by TJ Reid, and TJ Reid settled himself but didn't finish as he was hoping to do so. Made that lovely run across here to get on that ball. Brian Cody, 14th All-Ireland final, 16 if you include the 2 replays in 12 and in 2014 as well. Callan again pucking it all the way in towards the inside forward line this time. Touched down by Conor Whelan, but not to a colleague. Kilkenny were anticipating. Conor Fogarty got onto it quickly here, surrounded immediately by 3-4 Galway players. They're certainly bringing their intensity levels. Conor Whelan back here, and that ball hit beautifully and hit over the bar. Lovely point once again by Joe Canning, and that's 3 so far, and he's got all of Galway's scores.
Yeah, well, Jerry, we saw this game. Conor Fogarty sweeps back there all the time, picks up that ball, but he was closed down immediately. But look, you can see it here, 3 Galway forwards around him, and Conor Whelan showed great vision here when he wins the ball. He's only a young player, picks it up and flicks it out to Joe Canning, and Joe did the rest.
What a year it's been for Conor Whelan, the number 10 of Galway, as that one is pumped out here, added to by Owen Larkin. One down there for Michael Fennelly to go and chase after. It's Jerry Aylward instead, back in here, interesting, Larkin. Still Larkin, then chasing back was Pádraig Mannion, did really well initially, helped out by John Hanbury, and Hanbury completed the clearance. Up it goes towards Conor Whelan, breaks inside here beyond Cathal Mannion, trying to make some inroads, but in the end stopped there, and Pádraig Walsh gets it away beautifully outside here, out to the man who's come out from the corner, Jerry Aylward, and that one has gone away to the left. Missed opportunity. Couple of chances going astray now for both teams. Galway edging it 3 points to 2. Early stages, only 9 minutes are gone. Quick puck out. Cyril Donyan came racing across there from the centre to the left, and then settled his feet and drove it brilliantly over. Got 3 great points in the second half of this year's Leinster final against Kilkenny, and he started here very well indeed, and Galway lead by 2.
Yeah, brilliant puck out by Colin Callan. Sir Donnelly made the run and he picked them out brilliantly in a super score. Galway will be delighted, I think, with this start. They all look very comfortable, and John Hanbury there, big clearance. Kilkenny had 2 half-goal chances since the start, and they fluffed both of them.
And that puck out from Owen Murphy straight into the hands of Aidan Hart, operating at left half back. Great ball in. Joe Canning let it run on. That's dangerous. And that Kilkenny defence does not look all that terribly settled so far. Ball cleared out to the wing to Pádraig Welsh. They've been under a lot of pressure, the Cats, so far. Now they can counter at the other end. Hanbury coming across, still in his first championship season. Little block down on that by Walter Welsh. They've moved forward. It's like a replica of what Tipperary did when they moved in big Seamus Callanan here a couple of weeks ago in the semi-final. Back out as far as Larkin once again. 45 metres out. Beautiful shot, nice point. First for Owen Larkin in this match, a real high achiever and a commanding figure. Always and ever for Kilkenny, one between them.
Yeah, an important score because Galway had a good spell. There was Owen Murphy running out over the ball, and Joey Holden, look, he was very cool there on his own end line, but it could have been a goal there, but for Galway.
Potentially very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Yeah. Back once again in their half-back line, Kieran Joyce covering and clearing for Kilkenny, but out over the far sideline. And the linesman over there, Johnny Wright, has his flag raised. Kieran Joyce, a major match to play now, part to play in this match at centre half back, anchoring things together there. Killian Buckley one side, Pádraig Welsh on the other.
Yeah, so far, George, we're getting it very hard to get on the ball. When they do, they've been closed down so quickly. They've had very little influence. We haven't seen Killian Buckley at all, and just Pádraig Welsh with a couple of clearances.
It's going to be David Burke who will hit this. Goes a little short this time. And Cyril Donlan goes up over the outstretched legs of one of the Kilkenny defenders. It's Kieran Joyce who's marking him.
Yeah, and he's drawn him out of the centre, Jared. That's the problem. Kieran Joyce very strong, very comfortable down the middle, but Cyril Donlan is moving him left and right, and he wins the free there. He scored a point just before that as well.
So far, tactically, Galway look very smart today. Another chance for Joe Canning then. That means he scored 7 goals and 54 points against Kilkenny in 8 and a bit championship matches, but only one win, the Leinster final here in 2012 against the Cats. Not an easy free, but Joe then is a real master, and he's got his 4th. And Galway are going nicely. Yeah,
his eye is certainly in. That's 2 frees, 2 from play already from Joe in the first 11 minutes. A dream start. You see TJ Reid in corner forward now as well on Johnny Combs. Again, you talked about the height advantage. There's a huge height advantage there with TJ Reid.
I just find it interesting that Walter Welsh has been moved into full forward. It's like they are replicating what Tip were able to do with a big man, an able and skillful man in there at full forward. Out comes Richie Hogan with this back, and Walter Welsh has a chance here. Lays it off to TJ Reid, who scores. Typical Kilkenny, typical TJ Reid. He did it in the semi-final against Waterford. He's done it here in the 13th minute, and all of a sudden Kilkenny go into the lead by 1-3 to 5 points.
Yeah, very unselfish play by Walter Welsh. He just threw the pass a yard there. I just had mentioned TJ Reid going in there, you know, on the mismatch, but Walter Welsh used his strength there. A little flick to TJ Reid, but he doesn't miss from there.
So a timely reminder to Galway not to take Kilkenny for granted at any stage in this match. Cyril Donlan back here, whipped away by David Burke into the inside forwards towards Cathal Mannion. Hasn't gotten on the ball so far. Murphy. Johnny Glynn was trying to link up with Mannion, but it went astray. Murphy has it, drives it back down towards TJ Reid. He's got one, he'd love another one. Goalkeeper comes out and spoons it away, but not terribly far. Richie Hogan's able to get onto it, looks around to see what's on here. Iarla Tannion goes chasing after him. Back over it comes to Colin Fennelly, trying to step inside. A couple of players there. He was being fouled. Helmet pulled off him as well, which is a red card offence. But the referee has indicated it's going to be a free anyway. Chance for Kilkenny to extend their lead. Well, in the little tussle there, the helmet went flying. Didn't see anybody trying to deliberately take it off him. The referee just reminding him he can't play on the park without the helmet attached.
Yeah, I didn't see it. It was hard to see there. It looked like David Burke, maybe the hand was in there. Dangerous thing to go near the helmet now with the rule the way it is. It didn't come off itself, so somebody must have given a bit of a yank in there.
As TJ Reid takes the free and as usual puts it over the bar, so now he's got a goal to go with a point to go with the goal he got after 13 minutes, and there it is, slotted home calmly after Walter Welsh was involved in the build-up with it. 1-4 to 5 points. Had looked good for Galway. There's lots of time. David Burke comes back and knocks it over brilliantly. It's a good game. Started well.
Yeah, that's a super score. That's straight off the training pitch. Beautiful ball down to Glynn, and David Burke off his shoulder and over the bar. Again, I mentioned Aidan Hart moving to wing back. David Burke moving to midfield has been hugely crucial for Galway as well this summer.
Full forward line. Moment reads Conor Whelan, the number 10 in the corner, Joe Canning and Cathal Mannion. Ball poked out by Kilkenny. Again, they were targeting TJ Reid, but this time back to help out Aidan Hart. Blocked down well by Colin Fennelly. We'll have to go again. Hart kicks out this time, out as far as Johnny Cohen. Slips away from a couple of challenges, 3 men after him, off his left-hand side. Not the greatest of clearances, taken down well by Paul Murphy. Hand pass back outside as far as Kieran Joyce. Kilkenny lifted by that goal a few moments ago here, suddenly more assertive. John Hanbury back out for Galway. Good ball, really good ball. Out into the centre as far as Cathal Mannion, who slipped away from corner forward. Flynn, his first touch, his first opportunity. Seemed like it was on his way initially, but then maybe there's a light breeze out there. It drifted away to the right eventually. Disappointment for Galway and for Anthony Cunningham.
Yeah, good hurling though. John Hanbury played a lovely ball out there to Cathal Mannion, and he picked out Jason Flynn up the wing, and Michael Fennelly notably struggled to get back onto him there. You know, he looked to be 10-15 yards off and he couldn't close the gap.
Murphy's puck out once again. Once more it is Owen Larkin they are looking for. Closed down this time. Once more Porrick Mannion trying to get away from the shackles, that time from the attentions of Richie Hogan. Cleared out eventually up to a 2-man inside forward line. Conor Whelan trying to break it down. A man in support, it's Joe Canning. Eventually it's Shane Prendergast who seemed to commit a foul there, and the referee did blow his whistle. Notice that foul by Prendergast, and it's going to be a free in. Shane Prendergast, the 29-year-old from Clara, the guilty party this time. His dad, Paddy Prendergast, played in the 1987 final. He was the captain of Kilkenny that year when they lost to Galway. But Paddy has 3 All-Ireland medals in his collection. Shane hoping to win his first here this afternoon. Likewise, Conor Whelan there, the 18-year-old who was fouled.
Yeah, Jared, definitely the Galway full forward line at the moment have the beating of the full Kilkenny full back line. Maybe the same down the other end, even though Galway look more comfortable than they did the last day. But inside, Conor Whelan, you know, he's very fast, and for a young player he's shown great leadership so far.
Well, 4 so far, now 5 points for Joe Canning. Third time in this game. 17 minutes are gone. Good contest.
Yeah, Jaron, a good response by Galway. We saw it against Tipperary. Every time a goal went in, they came back into the game, and you see it again today. Sign of a team that's growing in confidence.
It's a very positive thing to see. Owen Murphy switching it this time to right half forward. Colin Fennelly goes out, breaks it down to himself. Very gifted, very determined player. An unpredictable talent. Gets it in here. Michael Fennelly, his brother, went down. Then Ger Aylward. And then there was a foul committed just around the 20-metre line, and it hots up a little bit here. It's going to be a free in at the end of it all once James Owens, the referee from Wexford, has restored order. He was causing the problems, laying it inside here to his older brother, who's Michael, the midfielder. And then tempers flare just a little bit. Finally, common sense restored. Referee had a quiet word with a player or two. No names taken, nothing like that. It's going to be a free in. TJ Reid will take it.
Yeah, James Owens' first final, you know, so far firmly in control, very cool as well, and handled that well there. There was not much in that. He's moved it in now. Obviously the talking continued.
Well, it's a very central position, as you can see.
Go for this.
Do you think he will?
He could.
Early in the game, isn't it? Ill afford to do this, to give opportunities to players like TJ Reid to crack a goal from this position here. With the team's level, will we be just content in the first quarter of this match just to tap it over? Yes, he is. Goal and 2 rather for TJ Reid so far, and it's Kilkenny edging it by 1 again. Brian Cody with it's been reckoned an 82% record of success. That is some record for a man who's been at the helm since 1999. This today his 79th championship match in charge. Down on his hands and knees there is Cyril Donnellan, surrounded by Kilkenny. Joey Holden going down into the opposing half, inside the opposing 65. In the end, the ball handle on the ground. It's got to be a free for Galway, and once again it hots up a little bit. Nobody wants to yield an inch here. Yeah, he picked it up off the ground. That's what the referee had spotted.
Yeah, great tackling again by Galway. The Kilkenny players aren't getting a second on the ball, and Joey Holden, he just lost control, and that was it.
Here's interesting, Michael. They've brought Jason Flynn back out to take this. Obviously, we're talking about Joe Canning's hand injury as well. And Flynn is such an assured free taker normally. But this is inside his own 65-metre line. So we're talking about a distance of 85 metres. Can he make it? Yes, he can. Point on the board, and the teams are level, and they're level for the fourth time.
Yeah, he's the option for the long range ones. He scored a great one here against Tipperary as well, a very important one, and great to have that option. It leaves Joe in around the goals then if it drops short as well.
Andy Smith has had to go off the field for a moment just to change his shorts. In the interest of decency, we're not going to show you that. Back out once again towards Killian Buckley. Stray ball going astray. David Burke able to pick it up, putting the pressure there on Shane Prendergast as Conor Whelan was looking at the ball, following the flight path, tumbled over. Prendergast able to get it away, out here as far as Owen Larkin. Larkin going around one, going around two, and in the end the referee decides he takes too many steps. Once again, calm has had to be restored. There's a real tension about, isn't there? All of a certain needle there. Perhaps it comes from all those recent matches they've had, including the Leinster final, including Galway's great desire to win in All-Ireland.
Absolutely, Jerry. Yeah, it's an All-Ireland final. You know, he broke the tackle there, and see Joe Canning out there. The tackling of the Galway forwards, I've talked about it a lot since the start of the game, and it's been a huge feature of their game. Since that Leinster final, the Cork game, the Tip game, the forwards is the first line of defence, and they're setting the example up there.
5 points so far for Joe, the 26-year-old from Portumna, who wasn't even born when Galway last won the All-Ireland. A long time ago, 27 years, 1988. They made a good start, and he's now got a sixth. 1-5 to 9 points, Galway by 1. Owen Murphy's puck out towards Richie Hogan. Hasn't really managed to greatly influence the match so far, and this time the referee said too many steps taken. Player is indicting his Owen Larkin. Brian Cody not one bit happy about that. Owen Elliott, who's the sideline official at the receiving end. And this was the run through here a moment ago by Owen Larkin. The referee, you can see, rotating his hands there, clearly indicating
six step, and I think that's why Brian Cody was demonstrating.
Once again, Jason Flynn has gone back inside his own 45-metre line this time to hit it. It would be an outrageous score if he can make it. It is an absolutely stunning, audacious shot that time by Flynn.
Sure, that's an absolutely huge strike from Jason Flynn. He's having a brilliant year for Galway. He missed the Leinster final, he was injured, he came on, scored a great goal, and that's Galway are fired up for this, and they're really settling into the game and putting it up to Kilkenny now.
Coming across here is David Burke, doing a lot of covering on the half-back line, even though he's wearing one of the midfield numbers, number 9. They get that ball up as far as Cathal Mannion. What a great year he's had so far. Remember the 3 goals he got against Dublin and the replayed Leinster champion. Mannion dodges around a number of defenders, finally gets it back as far as Jason Flynn, hits it under pressure, and it's going to drop away to the left-hand side, and that becomes a 4th wide for Galway. Kilkenny with 3 so far. Aidan Hart has had to be replaced by David Collins, who is of course the team captain. That perhaps is an injury.
He doesn't look injured. It's a big call early in the game. There hadn't been anything scored off by Colin Fennelly, I think. Whether it's tactically or not, he doesn't know. He's asking the question going off the fielder, and I wouldn't blame him.
It's early, and it wasn't obvious that there was an awful lot happening down his wing. He caught a couple of balls. Porrick Mannion taking on Paul Murphy. Donlan firing it from near the sideline, but away to the right, and a missed opportunity. Wasn't an easy shot. One so far for Cyril Donnellan.
Well, Galway having a period of dominance here. That's a couple of wides now. They're really, when they're on top, they need to be taking those chances.
So the first change has been made by one of the management teams, as that is Irlatanian taking it down from the clouds and blocked well by Owen Larkin. It's going to be a line ball for Galway. Great blocking by Owen Larkin today, playing in his 53rd championship match. We have 7 All-Ireland medals so far.
Yeah, great catch there by Irlatanian. Normally back at it, bring Tanya back when TJ Reid went inside, but outside of that, John Hanbury's on Walter Welch, Pádraig Mannion is on Jerry Aylward, Dahi Burke is on Richie Hogan, and most of them haven't been in the game so far.
Tanya to hit this. Made a decent enough connection there, inside towards Jason Flynn. It breaks kindly for him, tries to get away from Kieran Joyce. Has to go a second time to pick it up in along the end line. Inside to Whelan, and Whelan under pressure knocks it over the bar. Point for the young man, 18-year-old from Kinvara, a cousin of the late Niall Donoghue, who played here in 2012, and Shane O'Donnell, who got 3 goals in the Cork Clare match in 2013. He's got 1 here, and it's now 11 points to 1-5.
Yes. Maybe a year ago, Galway forward go for his own score there, but he played a low ball across, and a great pick-up by Whelan, and quick feet, and stuck it over the bar for a lovely score.
Galway,
very good.
Galway fans encouraged so far. That was taken down brilliantly by Dahi Burke, the number 7 there. What a great catch that was. He's hoping today to win his 2nd All-Ireland medal of the year. He was here with Corofin footballers in the club final on St Patrick's Day. Played brilliantly at midfield against Schlockneil from Derry that afternoon. Today in the colours of Galway hurlers, and playing centre-half back, really, as it were, for Anthony Cunningham's team. Doing a good man-marking job. Once again, it's Jason Flynn who's come. The last one was around the to attend to him. Once again, Jason Flynn striking it immaculately. He's got 3. His free taking has been a feature of the first half.
Yeah, and Kilkenny's lack of discipline, Gerard, that's 7 frees now that Galway have scored in the first 27 minutes. On the other hand, TJ Reid has only scored 2 frees, and that's 5 points, and there's 4 points in the game.
And without that TJ Reid goal, you'd wonder where Kilkenny would be at this stage. It's been an important score for them. It keeps them in touch, 4 behind. Once again, Galway come out with it, and a first touch for David Collins then, hoping that he would be picking up the Liam McCarthy. Got brilliantly done by Jonathan Glynn. Glynn, who's is Joey Holden under pressure, gets it out really well as far as Pádraig. Well, just for a moment there I thought Jonathan Glynn was going to get another goal in the championship for Galway, just as he did in the quarter-final. Dahi Burke back out, John Hanbury firing it across diagonally, once again over there towards Conor Whelan. Marking him is Shane Prendergast. Prendergast leaves it behind. Whelan's causing a problem. Whelan has it. Killian Buckley in there to try and win it back, and in the end Buckley does get possession and clears it away from his own end line. Andy Smith rising up for it here, but brilliantly collecting it is Owen Larkin. Back as far as Kieran Joyce, the centre half. This time with Colin Fennelly there lurking. TJ Reid once again coming in. Johnny Cohen trying to get possession. David Collins in the thick of it there, the number 22, who has replaced Aidan Hart. And the referee is going to go in there and probably throw that ball up. It's 10 minutes now since Kilkenny have scored in this contest, so real cause for concern for them. That flies back out there, away off the stick of Pádraig Mannion, and breaks further kindly for Andy Smith. Smith, not a very good ball. There are too many Kilkenny players there waiting for it, and one of them is Paul Murphy, almost striding out, put under pressure by Joe Canning. Very good pressure. That ball should have been cleared and wasn't. Jonathan Glynn gets it back. David Burke sizing up the angle, having a go at it. Feet from this angle here, it seemed like he might have put it over. Not so. 6 wide instead.
Jared Galway are all over Kilkenny. I know I'm stating the obvious here, but you know, there's only 4 points in it. There should be 7-8 points in it. Galway have missed a few chances. I'd say Kilkenny can't believe they're only 4 points behind, and really Galway, if they're going to win this, they need to make the most of this dominant period, because you expect Kilkenny will come back into it.
Here's Richie Hogan. They need a big performance from him. He's got one. That's one back. Well, if he can get going, if Walter Welsh can get more into the match, they need Ger Aylward as well, and Colin Fennelly to be contributing a little bit more. 12 points to 1-6, 3 points the margin. As you can see, 5 minutes to go to half time. Towards Aylward. Galway's defenders are sharp, they're incisive, getting the stick in there, working with one another. Not the greatest of clearances. Walter Welch, man of the match against Galway in the replay when he got 1-3 here 3 years ago. Easy one for Calvin. Back out from the goalkeeper to David Burke. All the way down along the line as far as Cyril Donlan. Races across, missed the last one, scored an earlier one. And the referee again has decided he took too many steps, and the referee has been very insistent on implementing that rule to the letter of the law this afternoon. So far, James Owen's doing a good job.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't. He must have. There was a little touch there from his hand into his hurl, and he took a few steps again. Unless the ref missed the touch, there wasn't a whole lot in that.
Kilkenny fans will feel they need the score here. Can they get it? They certainly can. It could have gone anywhere. It was Ger Aylward in the end who popped it over the bar for his second point, but it could just as easily have dropped into the back of the Galway net. Yeah,
nobody took control. You need to be cutting out that ball and let it slip inside, and could have been in the goals. Good response by Kilkenny, I'd have to say. The last two scores, they looked, to be under serious pressure. They're back within 2 points again.
Once again, Colin Calden pucking it out, playing in his 27th championship match today. Over towards right half forward, drops nicely with Jason Flynn, got there ahead of Killian Buckley and knocked it over the bar. What a brilliant score. It's his 4th point of the match, the first come.
He flicked it down to himself and into one move and put it over the bar. Super score.
Some brilliant skills in evidence here in this All-Ireland hurling final. TJ Reid. Colin Fennelly, now he's in the clear. Out comes John. Oh, that's Johnny Cohen very deliberately taking him down.
It's a big call now for James Owen.
It's just as well he's not playing another code.
Yeah. And watch it here, it comes across high around the neck. Very dangerous tackle, and be very lucky to escape a red card here.
Referee deciding to take a moment and have a chat with Johnny Ryan about that. So what's it? Johnny Cohen, who was the Young Hurler of the Year in 2012, under pressure here. Moirishka playing advocate. Well, there's a little lecture, so it would indicate that maybe it's got to be a yellow card. And it is. He's lucky. It's the first yellow card of the match. And that was a neck-high challenge.
Well, look, Jared, he's lucky, but to me it is a red card. I have to say, very, very dangerous tackle, high into the head, neck area. Could have caused serious injury. I know it won't be popular for saying it, but I think that should have been a red.
TJ Reid's going to take the result. And he's now got 1-3.
Yeah, Kilkenny crowd very subdued, hardly a whimper out of him when that went over the bar, and Brian Cody trying to drive them on now from the sideline.
Should be pointed out, Michael, that around Croke Park today, just judging by the splash of colour, I would think Galway are outnumbering Kilkenny by about 3-1. Then bear in mind, Kilkenny has only got a population of 80,000, so they've achieved way above their numbers over the years, overachieved in many respects. The greatest hurling county. David Burke getting it back here, taking it David Collins. And there to look at this and to watch where it lands, and lands over the bar, is the great man. possession in this match as we approach half-time, and they lead by 14 points to 1-8, 14 points to 11. Back come Kilkenny from the puck out here. Walter Welch, who hasn't really got into the game so far, hefty shoulder there, and Andy Smith. Ger Aylward and Smith shaping up to one another for a moment there. Pressure now is on Paul Murphy. Smith onto his midfield partner David Burke, in as far as Joe Canning, who once again comes drifting out towards the middle of the park, trying to leave a few gaps inside. Conor Whelan is playing this match as if he's an old veteran, and that's another beauty. No, it's not. The Galway crowd again behind the goal, deceiving us somewhat. They were convinced it was gone over. Joe's convinced it was.
Adamant, I think they should have a look at it. It's an All-Ireland final, that's why the technology was brought in.
Just listen to the... crowd here. They certainly feel that one was a point. 1 minute of additional time is going to be played. Irlatanian went up one-handed here, didn't make it, went off a Kilkenny man, so it's going to be a Galway sideline ball.
And Jerry, I think what we're seeing to great effect again from the Galway forwards today is the rotation. Joe is out centre forward now for the last 6 or 7 minutes. He scored a point, could have had another one there. Cathal Mannion's gone in the corner. Cyril Donnelly a full forward. You know, they're making different moves, different changes, confusing the Kilkenny backs. They don't know who they're picking up.
"14 scores to 9 as the referee blows for half-time. Anthony Cunningham geeing up his team. They've done a really good job in the opening 85 minutes of this match. Joe Canning got 7 points. Terrific contribution. We've seen Jason Flynn hit long-range points, get a lovely point from play a little while ago. A goal by TJ Reid after 70 minutes, really important because it has kept Kilkenny motoring. They have work to do at half-time here in the All-Ireland Hurling Final. It's Galway who lead by 14 points to Kilkenny's 1-8.
You're struggling to see a pattern. You know.
Yeah, it's frantic stuff.
Yes.
Shapeless in some ways, Michael, it would be the word I'd use. And I'm surprised that Kilkenny, it's very much been played on Galway's terms so far. But there's you saw Aidan Hart was removed, there was no sentiment, just there's no ruthlessness about Galway that I've sensed. And again, when Kilkenny got the goal, like against the Tipperary match, up the field and levelled the match and went ahead again and drove on. And I think, it's there for them if they really want it.
Time for us to head back to the commentary box to Ger Canning and Michael Duignan.
Second half underway. No changes made by either managers at the start of the second half. One change, of course, made in the first half. David Collins coming on for Aidan Hart for goal. Up the intensity levels immediately here because it's got to be important. As Cyril Farrell was mentioning, the opening 10 minutes usually means a 10-minute spell in which Kilkenny will try to dominate, and Galway are prepared for that, or are they? TJ Reid selling a dummy there with a possible hand pass. Inside it goes towards Colin Fennelly. Fennelly again with 3 or 4 defenders around him, and John Hanbury is one of those. John Hanbury, old style full back play, gets it out here down towards Cyril Donlan. Once again covering beautifully back there is Shane Prendergast. Out as far as Pádraig Welsh it comes. Here's Pádraig Mannion at a very, very good first half to his brother Cahill. And the Mannions combine, can't produce. To the 45-metre line, and again minding that line with great vigilance is Irlatanian. It's like Kilkenny have extra players back there. One of them is Paul Murphy, fumbled, and that might allow Cyril Donlan to come in here. And then there was a trip, but he's been told continue. He seemed to be tripped by Pádraig Welch. In the end, the free goes against Galway and incenses most of the Galway fans around me.
Yeah, we'll see it again here. Pádraig Welch comes in. He went to flick the ball, he flicked the hurl instead. I think he fell himself already, he wasn't tripped or anything. If you watch here, and he gives a free out then for overcarrying. Look, again, the second half, Ger, started the very same as the first half.
Second half, his first as well. Very important contribution, and the Galway fans still booing the award of that free against their team.
But a feature of the first half there was that Kilkenny not as dominant in the air as they normally are. The Galway backs obviously worked very hard on it since the tip match. They're breaking a lot of the ball, and Tariq Mannion in particular picking up an awful lot of ball in the Galway, around the Galway half back line.
Brian Cody geeing up his team. There's not much need to do that. Michael Fennelly once again getting it back here to Richie Hogan, trying to work himself more into the game for the second half. Back once again to Fennelly. The big man leaves this one inside here. It runs beyond Jerry Aylward. There's work to do for Colin Fennelly to try and get to it. And won back once more by John Hanbury. Good play by Hanbury, and Hanbury turned back towards the crowd.
Bigger influence on the game, having a very good game today, but he didn't look up at all. Everybody's clearing straight out over the sideline.
This is going to be taken by Pádraig Welch. Player has played at wing back, midfield, wing forward in each of his last 3 championship matches against Galway, reminiscent of his brother Tommy, who's watching on. That sails over the head of Daithí Burke here. He might need help from Irlatanian, and they still can't get it away. Burke comes in here. The challenge, however, is deemed to be an illegal one on Jerry Aylward. Chopping down onto the stick rather than trying to get the ball away.
Good discipline. I think that's a very hard yellow card. You know, I know he was a little bit high, but he was only a little flick away, and it's a yellow card. And
well, you compare that with the misdemeanor of Johnny Cohen earlier on. They're both yellow cards.
Yeah, well, Johnny Cohen should have gone. I think most people agree on that one.
Think so. TJ Reid hitting this free and hitting it straight over. That's a goal and 4 points now for TJ Reid.
And Jerry, we saw this last year in the final at half-time, just talking to a few lads. Last year they all thought Tip were going to kick on. This year they're all saying Galway. I was just reminding them, you know, Kilkenny had this habit of coming out and starting the second half very well and taking over the game.
They're not the brilliant Cats for nothing. That's down there by Cyril Donlan, looking for somebody to come onto it. That somebody was David Burke. Hit across as far as Cathal Mannion. Andy Smith there in the thick of that with the white helmet, number 8 for Galway, but won again by a man with a white helmet. That's Pádraig Welch. Good clearance under pressure, somehow managed to get it away towards Owen Larkin. They wait for it to come out. TJ Reid picked it up, then showed awareness down towards Colin Fennelly, brings John Hanbury out of position, the fullback. Now he's under pressure. Fennelly bouncing it on the ground before trying to set something up, looking for an option here. Hasn't too many options. Held up really well by Hanbury and by Pádraig Mannion. 2 young, inexperienced. Have a word with the umpire, but that's going to be a 65. First at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah, Colin Fennelly took far too much out of that ball. When he got it originally, Jerry Aylward was loose outside him 20 yards away. Great defended by Galway, but Colin Fennelly, you know, not the player that he was over the last few years, a little bit hesitant on the ball, and I'd say Richie Power, you know, will be introduced at some stage, maybe for Colin Fennelly in there.
Well, great play by Hanbury and by Mannion. When you consider all the gifted players that Galway have had over the last 27 years, and now 3 players today in their rookie season, Hanbury, Mannion and 18-year-old Conor Whelan, they all have a chance of winning an All-Ireland at their very first attempt. But right now, they're only a point in front, and that lead may be expunged in just a matter of moments here, because TJ Reid is ready to line up the 65.
You see Michael Fennelly shoving Andy Smith back. I noted a massive increase in Kilkenny.
Something in the half-time cup of tea, and the words of wisdom from Brian Cody, no doubt, as well.
Well, I was watching him there from Walter Walsh hit that ball into the goalie's hands just before half-time, and he danced some jig on the sideline, so I'd say they got it fairly hard at half-time already.
Fennelly and Andy Smith, 2 opponents in midfield, at the receiving end of a lecture here. There could be a card as well. It looks like there's going to be, because the referee's writing away. So Michael Fennelly will become the first Kilkenny player to have a yellow card, and Is it a temporary substitution that is required as well? Andy Smith also gets a yellow card, and now I think he's saying to Andy Smith, you got to go off and be replaced to have the wound attended to, so they're going to have to make a change. Four points so far as well. Now can he tie up the match here? He most certainly can. 110 now becomes 111 to 14 points, and there are 42.5 minutes gone in this match, and the teams are level for the fifth time.
Yeah, Jared, Galway need to score. They haven't had a shot at goal since half time. Kilkenny completely dominating around the half back line in midfield now.
Number 17, Fergal Moore, has come on for Andy Smith as a temporary sub, and there he is with the red helmet, fancying his luck here as well, but doesn't quite work out for him. Just scored once ever in the championship, today coming on to play in his 36th championship match, now 33 years of age, part of the experience that
that ball should have been flicked in front of him.
Once more we're watching TJ Reid here trying to knock it forward into the path of Michael Fennelly. Work to do here. Good play by David Burke. Got across here, deflected it away. He really is a terrific midfield player, David Burke. He's been in top form this year. Teams level. Tense All-Ireland afternoon here at Croke Park. Line ball coming up, and once again it's going to be TJ Reid who will take it, the 27-year-old. Awkward angle. Just tries to get it back into play. David Burke got his stick to it. Then he was fouled, I thought. And the referee has blown his whistle this time, and it is going to be a free out for Galway. Knocked to the head there. I think it was Colin Fennelly who was coming across who caught him. I'll just see it again here.
Yeah, watch, it's all eyes on the ball there.
Another yellow card is dished out here by our match referee, James Owens. None whatsoever until that one was issued to Johnny Cohen just before half-time, and now all of a sudden we've got quite a few. And Fergal Moore has now left the field and been replaced once again by Andy Smith. Andy Smith's a vital part of this Galway team. They dominated the first half. Opening minutes of the second half, it's been very much Kilkenny. Now let's see where this game is going to go. Great catch by Jonathan Glynn, blocked down. Again they try to make some inroads here, and Kilkenny's then surround them, and the referee once more steps in and he will throw the ball in to end the uncertainty. Jonathan Glynn there against Killian Buckley, the number 7 for Kilkenny. Pops back out once again, out as far as Pádraig Welch. Poor loose ball, however, straight. He'd love to be there lifting the cup at the end of this. He's got a point here, and Galway shoot back in front again by 15 points to 111.
Yeah, that's a great score by the captain, David Collins. Andy Smith captain on the day when he's not playing, but inspirational score, but a very poor clearance again. You see a great hook there by Killian Buckley on Jonathan Glynn, but Pádraig Welch never looked up there and hit it straight down to David Collins.
A major spur that time for David Collins and for Galway, but the response is from Richie Hogan, inevitably. What a player he is. He may be injured, but he's playing to the very best of his ability out there, and a second for him from the sublime hurling artist. Created space for himself, finished brilliantly.
He did, Jerry, a lot of work to do with it.
As far as TJ Reid succeeds in that, and Reid then big one down towards Colin Fennelly. Yet to score in this match. Here's a chance. Fennelly hooked well by Hanbury. Goes the second time. Stop on the goalkeeper. Johnny Cohen's there as well. It's gone out over the end line. It's going to be another 65. A second for Kilkenny in the space of about 10 minutes at the beginning of this second half.
Yeah, great battle development between Colin Fennelly and John Hanbury. Watch Fennelly here. Obviously thought his pace would have taken him away from Hanbury, but Hanbury stayed with him, and a great hook there. Just watch the way he left in the hurl here. Brilliant skill, and did it go out then for the 65, I think. Great save then as well by Colin Callan. I think went out for the 65.
Seems seems to be enjoying his afternoon down there. Central position, calm afternoon, very, very little breeze around in Croke Park. One of those perfect days for hurling, and a perfect shot at the end of that from TJ Reid. He's pointed the last two 65s. He tries to G up his colleagues here. Remember, he was the captain in 2010 when Kilkenny lost it to Ferrari. They don't want to lose again. They're going for two in a row. Galway trying to win the title for the first time in 27 years. Great catch, brilliantly done. Knocked away well that time by Walter Welsh, back in a deep position. Beyond Colin Fennelly. Larkin gets there. Hanbury's under pressure. Permanently comes to Owen Larkin. Back into play here to the big man, to Walter Welsh, and Walter Welsh calmly dispatches it between the uprights. His first point of the match, and Kilkenny get another one here. And it's Kilkenny 114, that's 17 points to Galway's 15, and no doubt about it, Kilkenny have been the better team in the second half.
Yeah, Jaron, that switch, Walter Walsh came out to right half forward at half time. He's playing very deep. You saw him catching that puck out, played the ball in, then followed it in and got to score. Great catch there by Johnny Glynn again now. Glynn across here, but across also came Shane Prendergast. It breaks nicely for Conor Whelan. Whelan from a very, very tricky angle. It was far too tricky, tried to recycle it. Collision between himself and Andy Smith. He's jogging back out, but he looks injured, and
it is going to be a Hawkeye moment, so let's see what happens here. All eyes on screen. That was some effort. What a point! Conor Whelan's effort. Stunning.
Well, Jared, that shows you the one before half-time from Joe Canning. You know, the technology is there, it has to be used. Conor Whelan poked it in the air that time. It was a 50-50 ball. Some days it'd be given and it wouldn't be. With Hawkeye, that takes that doubt out of it, and it should have been used in the first half as well.
Well, in fairness to the officials in Hawkeye, they are looking at this the whole time, and they have a very good idea themselves if the ball has gone one.
Referee in there, I think maybe
there is. Usually
Dickie
it's
Murphy.
Well, Dickie could be there. Yeah. Willie Barrett there as well.
Yeah. Watch here, TJ Reid, and I think Andy Smith just held his ground there, and that's a soft free now for TJ Reid.
TJ will be happy to avail of it.
Andy Smith has to go off again now. This obviously has a blood injury, and
Kilkenny with 6 points so far in the second half. Galway with just 2.
I see a big change in the style of the referee. You mentioned it there. In the first half, he seemed to be letting everything go.
When you're the referee of a major match, and there's no more major match than the All-Ireland final, do you let it flow? Do you let the game develop a pattern of its own, or do you come in with cards immediately?
Well, I think the incident with Johnny Cole certainly will have rattled the ref. Nobody wanted to send off a player in an All-Ireland final. It was a big, big call, and he made the decision not to do it. And I think maybe that has, rattled him since then.
TJ Reid lining this up as Greg Lally is on as a temporary sub on this occasion. And he's missed none of his frees. Flawless as usual, TJ Reid. And now he's got a goal and 7. And ominous for Galway. Kilkenny have really begun to dig in this second half now and really mean business. Andy Smith's back in once again. Of the second half. So heading into the final quarter of the 2015 final, who's going to win it? Advantage Kilkenny on the scoreboard, but you never know with Galway. And Cathal Mannion, who's yet to score, that one is blocked out brilliantly by Pádraig Welch, or it was Michael Fennelly, in fact, another man with a white helmet who got there. Line ball, David Burke's preparing to take it, takes it quickly Two Kilkenny players are there. One of them is Killian Buckley, and Buckley gets ahead there of Jason Flynn. Pressure back in from Flynn. Then it's from Conor Whelan. Got that marvellous last point a few moments ago for Galway. Again, it's Whelan. Hasn't ever played in a National League match. Only 18 and playing in this All-Ireland final and doing really, really well. TJ Reid back up under pressure here. Daithí Burke collects, clears. One man against three defenders. That one man was Cyril Donnellan. All the other Galway players had been pulled back in towards midfield. Joe Canning now arriving to put a bit of pressure on Joey Holden. Finally cleared out by Killian Buckley.
Jerry, get the impression whoever gets a score out of this will be huge in the game. There's after been an unbelievable amount of hooking and blocking from both sets of players. A lot of effort gone into this passage of play.
And it might be Andy Smith, but that eventually falls from his grasp and out over the sideline.
A lot of players, you know, going back, funneling back into their own half-back, full-back line and leaving loose men. There's nowhere for the clearances to go, and you know, it's a long way out for teams to get defensive. There's still 17 minutes to go.
It's a peculiar stage in the match right now. It's become a bit of a slog in this All-Ireland final just to try and achieve absolute mastery. That line ball hit in. Daithí Burke under pressure there. Comes to Richie Hogan. Hogan near the sideline. Flick back. TJ Reid gets another opportunity. And then finally onto it comes Owen Larkin. Reid once more.
You know, his leadership in the first half, and most of them were going badly. He was winning ball. He scored a good point in the first half. That's another point. His work rate for a man who's won so much and been on the go for so long, it's incredible. And a great leader of this Kilkenny team.
Hoping to win his 8th All-Ireland medal this afternoon. And there's that appetite, that desire to win. And it's always there by Kilkenny. And Ger Aylward has a great chance of putting this one over. And he makes the most of it. A third for Ger Aylward in this final, and suddenly it is all Kilkenny, and it's been by and large all Kilkenny for much of the second half. 4 between them. Colm Cavanagh's puck out, or Colm Cavanagh's puck out I should say. Is one of the players involved. I'm not sure, is it Joey Holden who was the other one? They've been marking one another. Cyril Donnellan saying there was a pull down there. Up they went for it here. Joe trying to come onto it. Not exactly the most free-flowing. At the end of it, it's Cathal Mannion who comes out, 45 metres out of the referee again, says you took too many steps that time, trying to establish control of the situation. And with 15 minutes to go, and Galway about to make a big change. Conor Cooney about to come on for his 14th championship match. He hasn't played any hurling at all this year, but he's in now, a player who
Kenny, you know, Michael Fennelly in particular around the middle of the field, very, very influential, stopping the ball going into the full forward, where they were having all the trouble in the first half. They've just upped their ante, upped the intensity, and they're scrapping for every ball like their life's dependent on it.
This is hit here by the goalkeeper Owen Murphy, who has never scored in the championship, and it breaks back down here again, and there's a lot of pressure on that Galway defence right now. They wait for it. Daithí Burke trying to get it out, and in the end it is David Collins who thunders out of the back there, gets it away out as far as Cathal Mannion, pursued there by Mannion once again, with the hand pass back as far as David Collins, his team captain. Collins, 2 who will love being part of this on-field action. Hogan bats it down, but the man picking it up is Irletanyan.
Up into the air. Sorry, Jared, they've been forced to put the ball in high. You know, that suits the Kilkenny backs.
And there's lots of them there as well. It seems like they've got an extra man or two each time that Galway tried to mount an attack such as that. Away comes Padraig Walsh, left behind. First touch there for Conor Cooney. And again, hit to nobody in particular. The only man down there applying any kind of pressure is Johnny Glynn. Out to Buckley. Buckley, the left half back. Masterful as usual, all the way down as far as Colin Fennelly. Bounces around. Aylward trying to steal inside. Mannion trying to keep him at bay. And then in came Walter Welch as well. Away there from Conor Cooney, succeeds, has a go from a distance, 50 metres out, and that one is wide. No need for Hawkeye this time, or is there? There is.
They're having a look. I think TJ Reid, Owen Larkin was free outside him when he won that ball. Maybe a better option, but I think he was trying to put maybe 5 points between them, put a nail in the coffin, and he went for it on his own.
117 to 16 points, his team leading here, and let's see what Hawkeye reveals. Is it a point for TJ Reid? Seems to have gone to the post, so it might be a kneel, and it is. Kneel on score, Cadaha. The score is not allowed. Stays as a 4-point game. 12 minutes to go, plus additional time. Back once again come the tribesmen. Conor Cooney this time. David Burke back as far as another sub, David Collins, and Collins hits it and hits it over. Only 1 point in the championship before now in his career, and now he's got 2 this afternoon, both in the second half, and it's a goal between them. 117 to 17 points.
Yeah, they're 2 massive scores for David Collins. Galway was struggling for scores in the second half. He's popped up with 2 of them, and here's Richie Power getting ready.
What additional he will be. Richie Power recovered from injury, it would appear. Again into that right half forward position. And the deadlock finally broken here as Dáithí Burke tries to roll it up onto a stick, but again pressure applied. David Burke comes after it, wins it, challenged strongly. Richie Hogan is the one who's making way, and the player who's going to come on here is Richie Power.
Well, you can see from Richie Hogan's reaction, very disappointed. Obviously had missed a lot of training. You know, I thought he was still doing okay. He was dangerous. Colin Fennelly not in the game much. That's a big call again by Brian Cody. We've seen many of them over the years.
So Richie Power on. Yellow card there, as you may have noticed, for Ger Aylward. Here's Conor Cooney. Hand pass back as far as David Burke. Immediately pressure applied. Good pressure. Michael Fennelly. His brother Colin in there in the yellow helmet. Final clearances by Dáithí Burke. One man inside forward line would appear. Colin Fennelly. Can't take it. Hanbury digging in. Richie Power in there as well. You can see his leg very, very heavily strapped up from a legacy of injuries he sustained over the recent past. Again, the referee forced to throw the ball in. Walter Welch getting his stick to it. Jerry Aylward coming across. In the end, it is David Burke. Swings around off his left. Missed initially by Whelan. Picked up here by Joe Canning, and they need a big final 10 minutes from Joe Canning. They need a big final 10 minutes from everybody if they're to take the cup, and they're under pressure, and that time a hefty challenge by Conor Fogarty is penalised by the referee, and the referee has been might be more than a word. He's got to get a yellow as well, it would appear.
Yeah, great work right there again by Joe Canning. Forced, he lost possession originally, then won it back.
Well, I didn't see a card. You do see Joe Canning hit this one, and he's hit it badly. He's hit it wide.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it might have been his first touch of the second half. He's been absolutely starved of possession. He looked a bit casual over that free, and that's a very poor wide at this stage of the game.
23, John Power is on now as well. And Ger Aylward is the one who's gone off. 117 to 17 points. Well, Kilkenny, who played poor enough by their standards in the first half, were very fortunate to be only 3 points behind. They have upped the ante in the second half. They may be strapped for players in some respects of quality and experience, but my goodness, they're making everything count. Kilkenny has now scored. It's like normal service was resumed, and the genie is out of the bottle. Once more, Kieran Joyce. Under pressure is Johnny Cohen. Gets it back down again. It's getting to the stage where they need a goal pretty soon, Galway, if they're to stage a major finish to this match. Out comes Pádraig Mannion. Avoids the hook of Walter Welch. They've got to get some possession down there. They've got to make it count. It's the youngster. It's Conor Whelan. And he's put it to the wrong side of the post, and he's put it wide.
Yeah, did the goalie get a little flick to that? We'll see it again here now.
It's a question of whether or not the ball was out over the line, I guess, before the keeper did get the stick to it.
No, I think it's a wide ball, and very poor effort there for Conor Whelan. He watched. Paul Murphy comes out, beautiful ball. The last few minutes of All-Ireland, showing that composure to pick out Colin Fennelly, and he stuck it over the bar.
Greg on for Cyril Donnellan. Lally normally a centre-back. He's gone into midfield. Comes centre-back. Centre-field, really. Murphy's puck out for Kilkenny. Towards Walter Welch. Over there as well, Owen Larkin. Two men so good in the air. The clearance isn't a good one. It comes straight to Pádraig Welch. And Pádraig Welch would love to score in the All-Ireland final. And he's done it.
Yeah, that's a great score from Pádraig Welch. He's had a brilliant game, I think, today again. He was brilliant in the final here last year. Not much talk about him coming up to the match. It was all about Killian Buckley, who had a quiet first half, better in the second half.
Needed a score, but between that one and the Conor Whelan effort a little while ago, the confidence levels are beginning to just ebb away and drain away now at this stage.
It's nearly as if Galway thought the game was over at half-time. They came out, first half all guns blazing, huge work rate, huge intensity, but you have to do that for the whole 70 minutes, and Kilkenny just closed up shop at half-time around the half-back line. Michael Fennelly in particular has been immense, as he was last year in the final against Tipperary, and Galway just dropped their work rate, and that's the main difference. Shane
Maloney, who rescued Galway right at the very end of the Tipperary match and got the winner that day, has just come on for Jason Flynn, who had a great first half with frees and one great point, but didn't do an awful lot in the second half. He has now been replaced. They've had to make a lot of changes there. Put 4 between them. They'll have 5 minutes or a little under of the 70, but there'll surely be another 2 minutes added on to that. 7 points from Joe Canning, all of them in the first half, nothing at all in the second. Can he rectify that situation? He seems to have done so with his 8th. There is still a pulse. There's still a possibility for Galway. 4 minutes to go.
Yeah,
edge of the seat.
They need the next score, Jared. They need to get back to a goal. When you're in a goal in hurling, you're obviously in the game, and the game can turn very, very quickly.
Owen Murphy's goal has rarely been under threat, however, it has to be said. Galway trying to win this in their own half-back line. David Collins down there, number 22, in the thick of it, but it's Kilkenny who emerge with it. Walter Welch trying to set up an opportunity there for one of the powers, a bit like last. Foul by Walter Welch. Play continues. And it's Colin Fennelly now taking that pass in his stride, 22 metres out, and it flashes over the bar. A second for Colin Fennelly, one of those fiercely determined competitors for Kilkenny, gifted, a little unpredictable, came on in 2012 in the replay and got one of the 3 goals that day. 2 points here today might be enough, 5 between them.
Yeah, he's a huge engine, he stays going strong to the end, and you know, 2 points there in the last few minutes, massive from him.
Cathal Mannion, it's a goal that Galway need at this stage. Kilkenny denying them, however, just encamped there around that D area and refusing to yield anything for the tribesmen. Kilkenny have shown the resolve and the determination, but it's Cathal Mannion who emerges with it, gets it back there as far as Conor Cooney. The man who's been out of hurling for so long has missed another one, and now they have had 3 wides in a row there. That's 12 wides in all in this match, and he realises it's certainly not going their way. Hasn't given up the ghost, however. Lost by 7 in the Leinster final to Kilkenny. Promised they'd be back, but it hasn't really got any better. 5 between them. They need something special. Pádraig Mannion all the way down, trying to slip it in there towards Shane Maloney, but this time it's Paul Murphy who keeps a very close eye on him. Great catch. Owen Larkin laid off as far as TJ. Burke goes a second time. They have a winning look about them at this stage, if there was any doubt. They have dominated the second half. They've been much the better team in the 33, nearly 34 minutes we've had so far, and they have opened up a 6-point lead, or is it it's a 5-point lead.
6 point, Jerry.
6, yeah. That's bad. Walter Welch to make it 7. 2 for Walter Welch in this final.
Yeah, this is what they do. You know, Richie Power there, you mentioned him, came on last year for his first game of the year against Limerick in the All-Ireland semi-final, changed that game, had a brilliant final, and to come on here in the final again has made a big difference, has created a couple of scores there, and Walter Welch has had a massive second half again.
It's like they've turned on the tap after half-time. Again, he picks it up here. He's a very daring young player who has given everything he's got, Conor Whelan, in this match. I'm not sure is it going to be enough on this particular afternoon. There are going to be 2 minutes of added time. Galway have a free on the 20-metre line. They simply have to go for a goal here. It's Joe Canning's turn. 8 points so far. A quiet word there from Shane Maloney to Joe Canning, the 26-year-old. This has to go into the back of the net, and they have to hope that there's time for another one. 7 points adrift, he hits it, it's trickling around on the line, and it's TJ Reid who's back there, trying to work his way out, forced out over the... afternoon. So once again it's Joe Canning who's going to have to take this. Second time of asking, it slips through and they have a goal. Goal and 8 now for Joe Canning. So 122 to 118, but we've already played 1 minute of the added time. It was second time of asking.
Yeah, great strike, Ger, but you know, the same thing I often say, too many people on the line. See TJ Reid there behind Paul Murphy, just missed it and trickled into the net.
So it's a 4-point game, and Galway... You think about it, 35 national trophies this will be when this one finishes in a few seconds' time. What a record over the years. That one drops in there and drops over the bar, I think. No, it's gone to the left. It's gone to the left, and disappointment there for Richie Power. But good to see him back. They're counting down the seconds, the Kilkenny crowd. Mannion plays it out of defence to Richie Reid to TJ Reid once again, and it's now all over. And the cheering is Kilkenny who are cheering. Brian Cody and his backroom team celebrate once again. Kilkenny have retained their title and won another All-Ireland final. And the